What you believe in your heart is like a 24-hour prayer that's constantly going up to heaven, into the world around us. You know, and this, I realized this when I was going through a really hard season in my life, and I wanted an answer from God. And when I finally got answer on the direction that my life should go in, I just believed it was going to happen. And I wasn't necessarily praying for this thing to happen every day. I wasn't, you know, fasting and you know, going after it as, you know, some people might do. I literally just believed it. And every now and then I might have prayed and what's the word I'm looking for? You know, when you sort of like make declarations of faith as you're praying, every now and then I'll kind of step into that, but it just felt natural. I wasn't forcing it. I wasn't like, oh, I better make sure I pray for this thing every day to make sure it happens. Like, I just believed it was going to. And then it took a long time. It took 3 years, but it was God's perfect timing, right? You know, I really believed that when the time was right, it was going to happen. And there was a reason, you know, and there was a lot of sort of character growth and refinement that happened during that season of waiting. But the whole time I was waiting, I was believing it was going to happen. And it did. It happened. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, I really believe that what we believe is like a 24-hour prayer that goes out into heaven and into the world around us. And the reason why it's important to know that is because you can pray for something, but in your heart you can be believing the opposite. You know, it might be a financial situation. You might be, you know, believing for some sort of financial breakthrough or praying for a financial breakthrough. It might be a relationship situation. You know, you want some sort of relationship restoration or whatever. It could be anything, right? But if you don't believe that what you're praying for is going to happen, you're working against your own prayers. And if anything, I believe what you believe has more power than your prayers do, than your words do anyway. Because if you think about it, say you pray for something half an hour every day, but then the other, you know, 18 hours or however many hours you're awake for, you're believing the opposite, or you're believing it's not going to happen. Well, the 18 hours of unbelief is going to outweigh the 30 minutes of prayer time. Whereas the opposite is true as well. If you believe something is going to happen, if you believe in God's goodness, if you believe in God's protection, if you believe that, you know, whatever it is you feel that God is leading you to want or desire is going to happen, then it's like an 18-hour prayer, or however many hours you're awake for a day is going up to heaven. And it's constantly going out into the world around you. And then when you do pray with your words as well, it's just reinforcing that belief that you already have in you. And so I think sometimes we kind of don't realize the importance of what we believe. We think that all the emphasis is on praying, you know, like even just for someone's protection. Like, you know, if something goes wrong and you're like, oh God, please, you know, help us, or do this or do that. It's like, sometimes you can pray from a place of unbelief. It's like you're worried that it's going to go wrong. You're fearful that it's just not, you've got no hope in the situation, so you're just praying. And look, I'm not saying that if you're desperate like that, you shouldn't pray and reach out to God. Of course you should. He'll be there for you. But yeah, it's just something that I realized, that what we believe, like if you're believing something, you can be confident and at rest. Whereas if you don't believe in the goodness of God, in God's protection, provision, that He's working everything out for your good, if you don't believe that, then you feel the pressure that, oh, I better be praying for it, I better be declaring it. And look, those things are important too, but I think the baseline has to be a faith. It has to be a belief. Because yeah, what we believe is constantly coming out of us, out of our heart. You know, the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And I've read some interesting articles, and you know, there's apparently been some studies done as well that the heart actually emanates a frequency. I'm not sure if it's a, you know, vibration frequency or some sort of electromagnetic frequency. We know the brain emits, you know, electromagnetic frequency, or however they measure brain waves, but apparently the heart does as well. And so there's a really interesting book as well. I'll put a picture of this book that I read, which really sort of like changed some of my mindsets and made me realize how important what we believe in our heart actually is. Because you can be wanting something with your head but believing the opposite in your heart, and the two are working against each other. and it's very hard for it to manifest in your life. But when what you desire and what you want is synced up with your beliefs, you know, a classic example is, you know, provision, prosperity, finances, whatever you want to call it, right? A lot of Christians, they might want to get ahead financially. So in their head, they're like, oh, I really want to prosper. You know, I really wish we could just have a little bit more to pay for this, to pay for that, to be able to help others. But in their heart, they might be believing the opposite. They might be believing that, oh, I should be grateful for just having my needs met. And, oh, I shouldn't want too much. That's greedy. That's materialistic, right? So, but then at the same time, you get happy when you get a raise at work, or if you get a bonus or things like that. So it's like the two are working against each other. Whereas when we correct our heart beliefs and we realize, no, there's nothing greedy or materialistic about just wanting to be blessed financially. It's what you actually do with that money that determines whether it's, you know, greedy or not, or whatever. And so when you fix the heart beliefs and you realize, no, there's nothing evil or sinful about it, and your heart syncs up with your mind, then you actually create the potential for that thing to happen in your life. So yeah. If you got any questions or you want to chat about it further, post it in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one.